Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Directive 8020. It's a number, I don't care really. Yes, I've pushed through and I've done it for you guys because I love you. Okay, I'm being creepy now, I'll stop. Yes, Directive 8020 is the latest release. It's the first in Season 2 of the Dark Pictures anthology from Supermassive Games. I will actually give you a little bonus at the end of this and list best to worst of the Supermassive games. That basically includes all of the Dark Pictures, The Quarry, Until Dawn, and the casting of Frank Stone. So look forward to that, because that should be interesting. I almost made it a separate video, but I thought, why not give you a bonus, because this is going to be a downer. So Directive 8020 starts with you as a group of people that wake up on a ship and find out it's been infested with horrible fungusy goo. Nice. And what they're going to do about it. And it is just such a pastiche of everything that the game's director likes from sci-fi and horror. You sat there and you're going through and you're like, that's from The Thing, that's from Aliens, that's from... I can't really tell you what that one's from unless we go into spoilers. Fuck it, we'll go into spoilers because it's probably better not to play this game anyway, it's better to watch it. So, what happens is, in the game, you start off with your traditional sort of cold open, where you've got two characters and they both die before the game starts proper, which is traditional from Dark Pictures, and I don't have much of a problem with it. I did notice that a lot of the characters are asset reuses from the other games, so you see the same ones, but I've kind of got a theory about that, so we'll go on to that in a bit. So they die, they're the sleep technicians there to sort of like deal with the waking up of the other characters. They're not there to do that, the other characters wake up, they're confused, where are the sleep technicians, blah blah blah. Oh, our ship's damaged because a giant great meteor has punched through the fucking hole, and this is what contained the space fungi. So they go around trying to investigate how to get the ship online, and they manage to crash on a planet. Well done, lads. And as you go through, you have to listen to the characters talk to each other. The writing is noticeably bad. Some of the performances are okay. Lashana Lynch, who's the girl on the box, because obviously she'd be the girl on the box, is probably the best actor there, and noticeably so, which is fair. She is a good actress. She just seems to turn up in a lot of ways that I don't particularly like. Hello, Ms. Marvel. But yeah, she's easily the best actress there. So, and as you go through, you get flashbacks to before the launch and flash forwards. Now, the flash forwards are just a baked-in problem. I have no idea why they've done that, because it flashes forward like 20 hours and shit's going down. You're like, oh Christ, shit's going down. And then you see the characters and you're like, well, I know that these guys are safe for fucking 20 hours now. Thanks, game. You just killed any sense of like threat. Well done, you. I just don't understand why they did that. They've also introduced kind of like a quantum dream flow chart, like they did in Become Human. So if you make a mistake, you can back it up, or if you want to try and like get completion and see everything, you can go and see what you need to do in order to get to the different branches. So it has its plus and minuses. I don't really have anything against it. So there's that. There are some graphic kills, but considering the nature of the space fungus that grows teethy things, and you know, I was expecting like the Thing levels of death, and a lot of the time it's just like getting stabbed or being smushed. I actually looked up a video online and watched all of the deaths, and there was like 2 in there where I was like, that's a good one. I think that was like one character getting sprayed in the face with acid and having it melt off. No, not similar to Aliens at all, just saying. And another one where a guy literally got swallowed by this thing that looked very much like a bloodworm out of King Kong. So you can add another movie to the inspirations, shall we say. So now I do want to mention the movie it's pulling most from, but we'll get there. So I will be ruining the movie Moon, basically. There you are. that's going to happen, which I don't really want to do, but I need to do it to show you how unoriginal the fucking game is. So, okay, so they go along, and it turns out the fungus has been creating duplicates of them, and it's like perfect duplicates with their memories and everything. So you get like a whole lot of the, oh, I don't know if this is my friend or if it's a gloppy monster that's going to burst out and eat me. Not like the Thing at all. And continuing the Thing analogy, there is a scene that is remarkably similar to the blood test scene, except tension isn't particularly a thing in this game, so there you are. It has introduced stealth sections, which those of you who have been following the channel for a while know I hate stealth sections. These are not difficult stealth sections, they're pretty boring. I don't think people that like stealth sections would enjoy these personally. What kind of happens is you're trying to get from one place to the other, and there's something or someone else wandering around. And what they do is they have a wander, they look one way, they stop and for a while, and then they start up and move off in what seems to be a random direction. I don't believe they have like patrol paths. So you basically have to wait for them to stop and then go and do what you need to do. But you have to crouch, so it's all slow, it's boring, and normally when you get to the item you need to get to, so say you need to get to a door to go somewhere else, it's like, oh, the door isn't powered up, you need to go to the place where you can power the door, and then you have to sneak over there, which just feels like stretching the game, to be honest with you. And they're incredibly tedious, and I will not be replaying the game ever because of them. So well done, lads. It's just, as I said, it's not well done stealth, so even if I liked stealth, which I do not, I wouldn't think it was good. The graphics, as per usual, are decent, although I'm assuming it's using, well, I think it's Unreal 5 actually they're using this time around, but the assets are starting to look their age. I mean, one of the guys in the cold open has been in many of these games, and it's the same assets, and it's starting to look a little bit plasticky. Whereas, like, initially it looked really good, and now you've seen better, and the skin is, like, a bit plasticky and stuff. So, yeah, that's starting to show its age, so they really need to rework some of those. So, as you go on, you go out on the planet to look for a beacon to send a message back to Earth, and you go out there and you discover a message from you. Yes, it turns out that the entire crew are clones, hence the moon reference. And what they've been doing is they've been sending ship after ship full of clones, the same clones of the same people on the same ship, to interact with this alien blobby fungus because it could save the Earth. Earth's in peril, that's why they're going. But it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense because, like, the alien fungus creates copies of people, but you can already do that if you're sending clones. And, like, even just from a scientific method, it makes no sense because, like, each new clone is a copy of the original back on Earth who hasn't been experimenting on the globby monsters, so you've lost whatever progress you've made. And of course the expense of cloning people and constructing, well, I think they 3D print the ships. How they 3D print a tree is beyond me, but there you are. And you know, it's obviously prohibitively costly and probably could have used that money to actually just save the Earth. But apparently not. Apparently we're going to conduct this experiment in the most bewakingly bad way. The story makes no sense. I mean, the story sections, because the stealth sections are so bad, I really enjoyed the story sections. Just because I wasn't having to sneak around the fucking floor. And you are doing that for, it's literally story sections or sneaking. There's comparatively a lot fewer of the walking around investigating sections. And before, the stealth was in the game before, but it would be like a time button press thing or holding the controller still when it was like the original Until Dawn on PlayStation 4, I think. So, it's just a boring game. You'd be far better off if you're even slightly interested to watch a streamer play it or just look up YouTube of the devs, because if you want to see the devs, they're there. A lot of them are the same devs, just for different characters, because I think there's like 40 odd devs in the game, but a lot of them are, yes, the character has been killed. Now, this character who wouldn't, because like he might have died earlier, so we need another character to take his place if he's already dead or whatever. So the characters in the game are really one note, despite, you know, acting efforts. The script it doesn't sound like people talking to people. It sounds really unnatural. There's a lot of like quippy Zoomer humor, which is polluting everything nowadays. And you can call me a boomer in the comments. That's fine. I fit into that age range. So you know that I got no problem holding my hands. Yep, that's right. I'm a Gen X, because that's the coolest generation, because it's got an X in it. Like everything else with an X in it is cool, including like, you know, triple X, because that's super cool. You know what I mean? But it's probably not worth the price of buying, unfortunately, because I played it for so long. I cannot refund it, but I am going to uninstall it. So there you are. And I will go and play a better game. So, not recommended. Look up a streamer playing it online if you're interested in the story. As a gameplay experience, it's not even as good as the other Dark Pictures games, because, you know, okay, there wasn't too much gameplay involved. I'm walking around looking at them in quick time and stuff like that. But it wasn't taking the piss and wasting your time most of them anyway. Let me just check the message logs. So, okay, that's my review of Directive 8020, 8030, I think it's 8020, whatever. No, 3080. 3080? Is that my graph? That's my graphics card. I'm getting confused. Directive, whatever the number, who cares? Okay, let me check. I better check and be professional, because I need to find that. It's 8020. There we go. Okay, thank you, Google. You're a help. Okay, so now this is the part of the video where I list my favourite supermassive games from this style of gameplay. So not like Little Nightmares 3, which apparently is not good, or any of the earlier games they did. I'm not doing the VR games either, because let's face it, who had the original PlayStation fucking VR headset? Not me, because I was on Oculus Rift, because I'm a fancy boy. But we'll go through. So coming in last at 8th place is The Devil in Me. The one game in the series that I never finished. I just could not stand the characters. I was interested in the subject matter, like the H.H. Holmes thing. I'm like I listen to like serial killer podcasts and shit like that, so that had interest for me. But I just could not stand the characters. I wanted to slap them all. Even the English guy, give him a slap. Yes, I was a smoker at the time, so I can completely understand his requirements for cigarettes, but he still needed a slap. Next is Little Hope. This one falls off because basically they've done the same trick twice in a row with this one. This was the second Dark Pictures one that released, and the first one, which I'll get onto, had a twist, and this is almost exactly the same twist. So you play through the game, you're like, what is going on? I don't understand. And you have no reason to understand, because it's all a hallucination in the disturbed mind of the main character from the cold open. Awesome, thanks. So that is one of the games that has wasted my time, you're saying. So like all the Salem Witch Trial stuff, that meant nothing. I mean, other than like, you know, symbolically. But it never happened. And the demons that were like alluded to originating from those days and were coming for you in modern day and killing all the characters, that made nothing. It's just some mental bloke sat in a bar. Well done. Great, thank you. Next is Directive 3080. I can't remember. I just look. Fuck it. You know the one I'm talking about. The subject of the video. That is next. As I said, boring stuff sections, blah blah blah. I've just done a video on it. So, right. You've listened to it, hopefully, to get to this point. Next up is Man of Medan. Once again, I enjoyed it while playing it. It didn't make a whole bunch of sense, and then the twist at the end explained why it didn't have much sense, because it was a gas leak and they were all hallucinating. Great. That really sort of like killed it a little bit. And then for them to do it again in the very next game, you were just like, oh, fuck off. Next up is the casting of Frank Stone. Actually enjoyed this one. I'm not a huge Dead by Daylight player. I have played it, I do own it. But I haven't played it a great deal because it's multiplayer only, and you know me and multiplayer games. But I have played it and tried it out and done it. I think I've done a video of it in the past. So I'm basically aware of it. I like the lore of it. I've listened to like stuff on the lore. I think I prefer that more than the game. So it's interesting to play a game like this, sort of crossing over with that. But it does have like, you are putting it together pretty quickly if you're familiar with Dead by Daylight as it goes on. But it was an interesting take. I don't think it's good. It's very much one of the ones that are outside, like well, the next two entries of the dark pictures mechanic. Next up is The Quarry. The Quarry is really good, actually. I've thoroughly enjoyed The Quarry. You can see they spent a bit of money considering the actors they managed to get into it. And it's genuinely of good quality. I like the story. I like the werewolves. I wish they didn't look quite so much like the Wendigos from Until Dawn. They look like they're just the Wendigo models dressed up a bit, personally. But that's a little bit... we have reviewed all of these games apart from The Devil in Me, I think. I didn't do one on The Devil in Me. I would have been trying my hardest to fill in if I did. I don't think I did, though. But yes, so The Quarry, really good, 80s sort of styling, but I don't think it's set in the 80s. There seems to be too much modern shit going on. So, but it's definitely sort of like 80s style, because like Stranger Things was popular and like everything had to be 80s themed at that point. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the characters, although there's a couple of nothing burger characters in there. But the main ones are pretty good. And yeah, The Quarry. Liked it. And number one, Until Dawn. And in fact, I'll go further and say Until Dawn the remake. I know people have problems with it for like cut content and shit like that, but I like it better because when I play Until Dawn the original on, I think PS3 or was it 4? I can't remember. But it's 30 frames and it's not consistent 30 frames. It quite often dips. And to a frame rate snob like myself, it's really jarring to switch over to platform. You do get used to it after a while, but like, no. So having the re-release running at consistent 60, and I think this is actually something I said when we reviewed the original one many years ago, is that like, imagine what it could do on PC at 60. It'd be great. And it is. Until Dawn is a fantastic story. Most of the characters are likable. Ashley is a little bit debatable considering following some of the choices you make, she can lock a character outside purposefully to be eaten by the werewolves. The Wendigo. See? I told you they look the same. But, you know, everybody else, and Mr. Robot Guy, I can't remember his name in game, but Rami Malek's in there. And he's a bit of a tit.
Hear me out. Remember when I was reading
But, you know, the others are... They're tittish, but I like them. And, you know, everybody's favourite one to hate is Emily, and I still want to flummox her. In a sticky way. I thought I'd just clarify, in case you didn't get it. So that's it. Until Dawn is still the best one. Yeah, even if it was just the original release, it would still be the best because it is the best story. At the time, it was amazing graphically. But like with the remaster at the higher frame rate, that trumps it for me. So there you go. That's my list. Now, what are they doing with the Dark Pictures anthology? Now, I'm starting to get a little bit suspicious from all this asset reuse. Now, it's either lazy or it's tiring into a bigger theme. If you notice, like, during the games, the curator does actually make appearances outside of the sections which he's in. There's no creator sections in this. The new one, Directive, whatever. But he is. You do see him during the game, and I think there's a collectible you can pick up. But like in all the games, just when someone's about to die, you can often catch really fleeting glimpses of him, just in the background, somehow hidden behind something. So it's really well done. This one's a lot more in your face with him. So and the fact they've done the casting of Frank Stone and involved the Dead by Daylight universe kind of puts me in mind of that. So I'm wondering if like he's got like a core group of characters that he's running through all these scenarios or something like that. Maybe. Could be. Would explain the asset reuse. so would laziness, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they did it for a reason. Even if the reason's, maybe. I don't know, that's kind of my little theory on it anyway. Because he's just taken, I mean, it does fall apart a little bit because you obviously have characters that don't appear in other ones, like you had Sean Ashmore in Man of Medan. I don't think you'll see Lashana Lynch in any other ones. Yeah, this is just, I'm not including Until Dawn, The Quarry, and the casting of Frankston, because they're technically outside universe of the Dark Pictures. So yeah, I don't know, but there's certainly enough crossover to make you think, okay, they can't just be lazy enough to just have the same black guy or the same sort of what was her name? Brie Larson looking girl, you know, or the one that looks slightly Algerian. I don't know. This is obviously stereotyping is bad, but whatever. In every game, you know, I'm sure they could make new people. That shouldn't be a problem. There are new people in each game, so why not? Unless it's intentional. Yeah, so I think the curator is going to be... I mean, if you look at the Until Dawn movie as well, which has nothing to do with the Until Dawn game, really. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's just they're in like a Groundhog Day type deal, but every time they sort of get killed by a different method of serial killer or hazard. Or just gloppy monster. And the Wendigos are in there somewhat, but it's not Until Dawn. It's not the movie version of Until Dawn we were all expecting. And I know some people will say, well, Until Dawn's essentially a movie. And yeah, you got a point. I still would like to see it in live action though. But yeah, okay. But so once you sort of throw in those ancillary things, the movie, the casting of Frankenstein, you start to think, oh, maybe the curator is the guy running them through this rat trap and is like doing it either for his own sadistic amusement or he gets something for like every time they die. Because, you know, he's a lot of the time he sort of references the ferryman. And like you find obols about which are used to like pay the ferryman to get across the River Styx and stuff like that. So yeah, it kind of like ties together a little bit. Am I crazy? Let me know down below. Well done if you've gotten this far anyway. I mean, I probably would have given up during the review portion. But the end portion is probably more entertaining. I probably should have done it as a separate video so more people would see it, but it seems kind of cheap. And I've got other games I need to play and get videos done for, so there you go. Anyway guys, it's like 30 degrees, so I really want to finish up and put my fan back on. So take care and I'll catch you next time.